Hey everyone, how are you all doing? My name is Deborah and I'm here to give you my first thoughts on the new C-drama airing titled The King's Woman, starring Zhang Bingbing. You remember him from 10 Miles of Peach Blossom or Pretty Li Huizhen or even Love 020 as our famous and lovable KO, the internet or the IT geek and the great hacker. And also starring in the female lead is Dilruba, and Dilruba, you might also remember her from 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms as Fengju, or you might remember her from Pretty Li Huizhen, and you can also remember her and Pretty Li Huizhen she was pretty version of China, or you might also remember her from Diamond Girl or even Hot Girl, depending on how big of a fan you are or how many C-dramas you've watched. You might know her from these dramas. And if you're someone who has watched Sound of the Desert and you're an oldie like me, then you probably remember her as that girl who had the dance off with Liu Shishi in Sound of the Desert, and the great dance off where Liu Shishi had her leg caressed by Eddie Peng. Yes, that girl who had the dance off was Dilruba. Anyways, this is a drama that I have been so excited for. I have been waiting for forever. The main reason being, we've seen Dilruba and Zhang Bingbing in so many dramas together, and he's always the second male lead when there's like a love interest involved with her, or even if it's with someone else, he's always the second male lead. So this is a difference whereby she's the main character and he's the main love interest, and it's their love story. He's the main love interest for Dilruba. And for me, who has been a fan of both the actor and the actress, it's like a dream come true, because I don't know about you, but I have been waiting forever for these two to couple up. Like, if they ever date in real life, it will be like icing on the cake for me. So I'll tell you a little bit about what the drama is about, and then I'll tell you what I thought based on the first 2 episodes that I have seen. Alright, so basically the drama is about Dilruba, who is called Gongsun Li, and she is the granddaughter of a great military commander of a state of Wei. And Wei is a small state, not the great Wei that we all know about, but she is the granddaughter of a military commander, Gongsun Yu. And Zhang Bingbing is the new king who just inherited the throne of the Jin Empire. And he is titled Yin Zheng in this. And the next male lead in this is titled Jin Ke. If you've ever watched Legend of Jin and you know this story, or you're familiar with this story, because this is the story before Legend of Jin, and if you're like, I've not watched Legend of Jin, but I'm familiar with that name, then you probably know it from the book or the manga that has been written. And I believe there was also an animation version, an anime of it that was released, so you probably know the story from there. But it's basically the story of how the king of Jin, who is played by Zhang Bingbing, falls in love with Gongsun Li, and he was in love with her due to their past. They knew each other when they were children, and she saved him in the midst of so many people trying to kill him or treating him like trash. She was the only one who sincerely always cared about him and was there for him, and truly cared for him and loved him as a brother, not obviously as a love interest, but she was always there for him when he was a child and everyone was against him. She was the one that was there for him, and when he was a prince that was trapped in another kingdom, a hostage prince, kind of like the whole Yanzun situation for those of you who have watched Princess Agents. So she was the one that was there for him and kind of had his back. She was his shoes, y'all. Let's put it that way for those of you who have watched Princess Agents. And so right from that moment, he loved her, and his dream had always been to meet her again. And so finally he meets her again. She doesn't know who he is, he doesn't know who they are, who she is either. They have hidden identities. They meet in a situation that I won't spoil for you, but they all have hidden identities and they don't know that this is who I knew in my childhood. Now comes in the second male lead, who I don't know if it's right to call him the second male lead because she loved him first, but this second male lead, Jinke, is her first love. So he was a disciple of her dad, her grandfather, Gong Seung-yu. Disciple means he trained under him, martial arts and all, and he was in love with her, and same with her. She was in love with him. They got together, they even had a child, and when they got together they were in love. That was the period that Yin Zheng realized who she was and came for her and took her away from Jinke. So yes, he stole someone else's wife, and that's not a spoiler. This is basically the foundation for what the drama is about. And when he steals her from her husband, or takes her by force from her husband, or she surrenders to him in order to save her husband, she gets to the palace and realizes that, oh my goodness, this guy who I met the other day, she doesn't know yet that this is her childhood friend, but this guy who I met the other day and who we kind of got along is actually the king of Great Xin. And Great Xin and the Wei Empire don't like each other, they're against each other. He has the king of Wei hostage, and she and her granddad, her family, are trying to get rid of the Xin Empire and the Xin king because they think he's evil, etc and etc. And then she realizes that this guy who she was telling how she hates the Xin Empire, etc etc etc, is actually the king of the Xin Empire. So he takes her in to make her his wife, and she finds out that she's pregnant for Jinke's child, his first child, and Zhang Bingbing decides to adopt that child as his. And not to give any more spoilers, that's basically what the drama is about, their love story and how Jinke comes back for revenge to get his wife and kill the king. And yes, some of the story is based on history and there's a whole bunch of fiction, and there was actually someone in history called Jinke. If you're familiar with Chinese history, then you know that. On my first impressions, I think the first thing that I have to give credit to this drama for, and some of you may not like it, if you're someone who liked the color palette with Princess Agents, you may not like it, but if you're a Nirvana in Fire type of fan, then you will like the lighting and color in this. It's not, they didn't make it so artificial that it feels fake. You can feel the genuineness of that era with the lightning, and I'll show you an example of what I mean using Princess Agents versus the King's Woman to show an example of what I mean. The lighting is very realistic, and that's one thing I loved about it. Number two, like I said, I love the color palette shade of it. Number three, I love the costumes in this, that it wasn't themed too much. Most dramas right now, historical dramas, that tend to go back to the olden days era, the great dynasty eras, etc etc, the beginning and all, they tend to overdo the costume, and you know this isn't necessarily how they dressed during that era. They weren't so extreme and extravagant, but they still looked good and everything was still of good quality, and that's what this drama gives us with the costume. The color palette of your costumes, the king's clothing, her clothing, everything is not too bright and it's not too dull. It's just the perfect in-between that you need for an historical drama or a drama of that caliber. And that's what that was the number one thing I noticed and I loved, because it reminded me of Nirvana in Fire, which is one drama that I definitely feel got it right. Number two, for the first episode, when the drama started, I did get slightly confused because they were giving us so much information. There were so many characters being introduced, but I kept going because this is a drama that, like I said, I have been waiting for a long time. So I was really excited, and I knew it was going to get better, so I kept going. But I do know that for certain people who are just getting into this drama, they haven't heard about it, but they want to try it out because of the trailer or another reason. The first few minutes might throw you off, and you might wonder, even after the first episode, should I continue? But if you're like me and you're someone who loves politics, the manipulations of it all, dramas like Nirvana in Fire where you have to think, manipulate, dramas like Six Flying Dragons, then this is a drama for you. Do not give up on this drama. Keep watching because there's gonna be a whole lot of crazy going on. And I think the third theme that I absolutely loved about this drama is how the king, Yin Zhang, Zhang Bingbing's character, is not one-dimensional. Like, you know, this is a king that has the ability to be good, but he also has the ability to not take nonsense and give it to you when he needs to give it to you. Like, he brings it to the table. E.g., the scene with his mom and the chancellor on the bed. There was this scene where the mom and the chancellor did something to him, and they thought they'd gotten away with it and they were smart, and then he went back on them by giving them a dead deer. You'll understand what I mean when you watch the drama. But I like how you can see that there's some darkness in him, yet you can see the light in him, which somehow seems to balance itself out, because so many historical dramas you don't see instances where they balance themselves out. It's either one is very extremely evil or the other is extremely good, and all hardly do you see that balance of, okay, he does have some darkness in him, but he also has some good in him. And I think that's one thing that captivates me about this drama, that I absolutely love about this drama. The next thing that I love, number 4, is the female character. So one thing I love, or I kind of normally have a problem with historical dramas, is when the female character is seen as weak because she's female, so she can't do anything. What makes this drama different is her grandfather protects her not because she's a female. Her grandfather doesn't stop her from fighting just because she's a female. He stops her for a valid reason from getting into wars and the fighting and etc and etc, because she's the only descendant of his family, and that is like one of the most important families of the Wei dynasty. And there's a whole bunch of military tactics that needs to be passed on, etc and etc. So I totally understand, and it makes sense that he's trying to get her out of this situations that might get her killed, so their family name still goes on. So it makes more sense for me, and it makes it more acceptable for me that that's why he doesn't let her get into the fight and the shenanigans that goes on, rather than, oh, she's a female and she's weak, because she is not weak. And another thing that I really appreciated in this is you see her holding a sword throughout. And most dramas like this, where you see the girl can fight and all, something always goes wrong along the way and the girl suddenly can't fight anymore, or she's holding the sword and she never really uses it. The guy saves her all the time, but I like how she can hold her own. And in this, the guy doesn't save her. She actually does the saving of the guy, which is a slight twist from what we're used to with Asian dramas, with the guy always saving the girl and all. And I think that's another reason why he fell in love with her, and why minus the whole childhood aspect of it, he felt he in love with her even more in future, because in the midst of so many people trying to kill him and attempt to take over his throne when he finally became the king, she was the only one who actually stood in front of a sword and took a sword for him. Spoiler! Not a very important spoiler, but spoiler. So that's another thing that I love about drama. Next, I know a lot of people, and I am amongst these people who have problems with childhood romance stories added to historical dramas, but I think this is one instance where it makes sense as to why he is so obsessed with her, because he is like, his love for her is literally crazy. It kind of makes sense why he's obsessed. It kind of ties to the whole, if you've watched Princess Agent thing, like I said, she's the Chu Xiao to his Yanzun and all, but instead of just being one evil Yanzun, he's like a Yanzun meets Yuan Yue in one. That's kind of what his character is. Yanzun meets Yuan Yue, so he has the darkness and he has the good. But like I did say, what I appreciated is that the childhood romance story gives us a reason, a valid reason for why he is so obsessed with her. And if they had showed us just, oh, this girl took a sword for him and then he was in love with her, it would still have kind of made sense, considering everyone was trying to kill him at that moment. Everyone was against him, even his own mom, and later on someone else in his family. I'm not gonna give you the spoiler for that, but everyone was out to kill him, but this was the first person to actually stand and take the stab to the chest for him. So if they had left it that way, it would still have worked. But I'm not complaining about the childhood romance, because it makes sense that even right from his childhood, when he was a hostage priest, this girl that has always been there for him and had his back in the midst of so many people being against him is the girl that he falls in love for, and he is still so obsessed for, considering everything that's still going on around him. So this is one instance where the childhood romance actually works, and I appreciate. I think the next thing that I found really interesting about this drama is the lack of OSTs. In the beginning, most Chinese dramas these days start with this beautiful song introducing the characters, but this doesn't do that. This tells you, hey, we're here for business. And it starts with this warlike tune that gets you in the feel of, oh my goodness, we are going to war. Which is really good and kind of works for the whole palette and feel of this drama and all. And last, I think my only complaint so far in this drama is how, if you're watching it on Viki, there is no what's the word, they don't warn you that what you're going to watch the next 2 minutes towards the end of the drama is a preview. So excuse me, the first few seconds you probably will be turned like, what is going on here? Why does it seem like we're just jumping scenes and all? So just letting you guys know, giving you a heads up, they're going to be previews towards the end that you're probably going to be wondering, hold up, why didn't I know that there was a preview? Why didn't they tell me this was a preview? You're probably going to be wondering, why does it feel like they're jumping scenes? They're not jumping scenes. When you reach that part, trust me, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's the preview. This drama is currently airing on Viki. Drama Fever starts airing it, I believe today or tomorrow. Drama Fever starts airing it, but Viki is also airing it. If you want to check it out on Viki, you can. I'm currently watching it on Viki just because Viki has already released 4 episodes while we wait for Drama Fever to start releasing their episodes. But it's quite shocking that Viki got rights to this. Like I did say on Twitter, I was shocked Viki got rights to this. But so far, it's a really good drama. The romance, we feel for Jin Ke and we feel for Zhang Bingbing. Right now, I'm already team Zhang Bingbing, even though I know that it's probably gonna be a drama filled with lots of angst and it's probably that ending. But this is one drama that I'm okay with it not being a happy ending, and I will accept the sad ending considering how they came to be together and everything that's involved with their relationship. I just felt, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know I'm talking of Princess Agents right now. I'm giving a slight shade to Princess Agents with their ending, but I know what to expect. I am ready for this. If it ends however it ends, and if they surprise us and gives us a happy ending, I'll be forever eternally grateful. But if it's a sad ending, it's okay. I'm prepared for this. I'm ready to go into this. But if you're someone who doesn't like a lot of angst, this is probably not the drama for you. But just know that the chemistry is going to be off the charts. We've already started getting hints of the chemistry, which I love. And the story is not gonna be one-dimensional. There's gonna be a whole lot of planning, manipulating involved, lies, deceit, the whole palace concept that I personally love and all. But if you're someone who loves such dramas, then you should definitely check this out. Give it a try. So far so good. I just hope they don't ruin it. Yang Mi Studios hardly ruined their drama, so I kind of do have hope for this drama. But let's see how it goes. Check it out and let me know what you all think in the comments down below. And if you've already checked it out, what did you think? What was your first impression? Do you have hope for this drama? Do you want to keep watching? Do you not want to keep watching? Let me know what you think. But what I'll definitely tell you is, if you watch the first episode and somehow you're bored, please keep going till at least the end of the second episode. Alright, till next time, keep being awesome, beautiful people you are. From me to you all, you know I've got nothing but love for you all. Stay awesome.